So recently I've been doing my annual read of A Hero with a Thousand Faces by Joseph Campbell. It's a book that explores common patterns and motifs found in myths and legends from across the world throughout history. Campbell argues that all myths and stories have the same fundamental structure, which he calls the hero's journey, where a hero embarks on a transformative adventure, faces challenges, undergoes a crisis, and ultimately comes back transformed, representing the universal human experience of self-discovery and transformation. I'm very grateful to say that I was exposed to this concept very early in life. When I was in the 3rd grade, I would write these 2 to 3 page stories and read them in front of my class every Friday. I was fortunate enough to have somebody in my life who was a playwright. I showed him some of my stories, and his feedback is really my first experience with structured storytelling. I really wouldn't be where I am without those very simple interactions. As much as I pretended to, I really didn't understand those story tropes until I was much older. Online, you can find hundreds of oversimplified diagrams to help break down this concept. Whether it's a generic textbook diagram, nerdy pop culture, 12-step, counterclockwise, squiggle, or a 3-act bar, they all pretty effectively demonstrate what's most important in a story: the contrast between the known and unknown worlds. One of my favorite ways this was implemented was in the 2010 masterpiece, How to Train Your Dragon. Every aspect of the film, from the visuals to the music to the characters, just perfectly pushes the hero's journey right at our feet. That's what we're talking about today. Those 300 words of pure waffle is just to get us here. We're talking about How to Train Your Dragon. To be completely honest, the entire reason I want to talk about this film is because of the beautiful score by John Powell. Before we start, however, there are a few things I should clarify. I've taken maybe 2 classes on Skillshare about music theory. I'm nowhere near an expert, but what I do know is storytelling. How to Train Your Dragon is perfect in its use of passive storytelling through the music. A leitmotif is a short, reoccurring musical phrase associated with a particular person, place, or idea. Powell uses these personal life motifs to allow the music to take over scenes and tell the story completely passively. Let's break down this first song. This is Burke. It does an incredible job introducing us to the characters, the setting, and the themes. And it does all of this subtly in the background of the opening scene. Listen to how the film opens. This piece of music will come to represent Hiccup. Hiccup's theme has 2 parts. We have and also remember, these, we'll come back to them a lot. It then transitions to a theme that will come to represent the Vikings and Burke. It then fades into Stoic's theme. During the slow motion, the music jumps to Astrid's theme. That introduces us to all of the music in the entire film. This is one of the strongest ways to open a film. When the music comes back throughout the story, we already know what they are supposed to represent. When a film establishes these leitmotifs early on, it helps aid in engulfing us into the story. And this is all passive through the music. Astrid's theme comes back as a bass line for the song Romantic Flight. And you can see this done throughout the entirety of the film. Do you remember earlier when I said that we'd been introduced to all the music for the film? That was a blatant lie. There's one more theme. Thematically, this works great. Toothless is a part of the unknown world, and the use of bagpipes helps cement this. All other music we hear so far in the film are from flutes and violins and cellos. The very distinct sound of the bagpipes gives us the feeling that something is out of place. As Hiccup and Toothless become closer, Toothless's leitmotif is played with more familiar instruments. One of the best aspects is how all leitmotifs are played in different tones based on what emotion is trying to be portrayed. Hiccup is scared when he meets Toothless. And sad when he gets taken away. It's the same for Toothless. It can be fierce when he's trying to intimidate Hiccup. It can also change the key to help with emotion. When he's flying with Hiccup, it's major, but when he's trapped underwater, it's minor.
Okay there, bud.
As the film progresses, Hiccup and Toothless's themes are played together, but they're not mixed. Well, not until... The song starts with Toothless's theme and slowly fades to Hiccup. Neither are finished. This is very important, remember that. Neither theme finishes, they just fade. They're separate and hesitant, as Hiccup is still reliant on the cheat sheet. It is very intentional that Hiccup's theme is playing when they're bumping into boulders.
Sorry. That's my fault. Yeah, I'm on it.
Hiccup still hasn't been able to work with Toothless, believing that he is in charge, and if he follows the cheat sheet, he will succeed. It is very unfortunate that at this point the cheat sheet slips and the music goes to complete chaos.
Cheat sheet, stop! You gotta angle yourself. Okay, no. Come back that towards me. Come back that now!
Together they find some bit of control, and Toothless finally takes charge, switching to his theme. Hiccup realizes that they need to work together and throws out his sheet, and for the first time, the two themes merge. The music is confidently blaring as the two themes finally complete each other, switching keys from the uncontrollable D to the confident E. At its core, How to Train Your Dragon is a story about identity. It shows Hiccup's journey with the expectation his tribe puts on him. Apparently they're called the Hairy Hooligan Tribe. Kinda goofy. I love it. The film starts with Hiccup grasping for acceptance. We get the first hint of the existence of the unknown world with the explanation of the Night Fury.
But the ultimate prize is the dragon no one's ever seen. We call it the Night Fury! Get down! This thing never steals food, never shows itself, and never misses. No one has ever killed a Night Fury. That's why I'm gonna be the first. Night Fury. Speed unknown. Size unknown. The unholy offspring of lightning and death itself. Never engage this dragon. Your only chance, hide and pray it does not find you.
Hiccup builds this contraption so he can keep up with everyone else when the dragons attack. He does it and he shoots the Night Fury down, but ends up getting attacked, chased by a monstrous nightmare. He's saved by the chief, Hiccup's father, Stoic the Vast. When he tries to explain how he shot down a Night Fury, no one believes him. I love how much Hiccup is shown as an outsider here. No one is alone, and not a single person believes him, not even his father. We then get this emotional scene where Hiccup confides in Gobber.
I really did hit one.
Sure, Hiccup.
He never listens.
Well, it runs in the family.
And when he does, it's always with this disappointed scowl, like someone skimped on the meat in his sandwich.
No, you're thinking about this all wrong. It's not so much what you look like, it's what's inside that he can't stand.
Thank you for summing that up.
Look, the point is, stop trying so hard to be something you're not.
I just want to be one of you guys.
Stop trying to be something you're not. This opening attack scene thematically sets up the whole movie. The pressures of responsibility, wanting to be more than you are, and the feeling of being alone. Do you need to prove yourself to someone? Should you change yourself? How do you find out who you are? At its core, the characters are the heart of the film. Having a simple plot allows us to have more time and have more complex, multi-leveled characters.
When I was a boy,
Oh, here we go.
my father told me to bang my head against a rock, and I did it. I thought it was crazy, but I didn't question him. And you know what happened?
You got a headache.
That rock split in two. It taught me what a Viking could do, Gobber. He could crush mountains, level forests, tame seas. Even as a boy, I knew what I was, what I had to become. Hiccup is not that boy.
You can't stop him, Stoic. You can only prepare him. I know it seems hopeless, but the truth is you won't always be around to protect him. He's going to get out there again. He's probably out there now.
Stoic the Vast embodies responsibility. He's a strict father who only cares about the safety of his people. Being in a position of power, he burdens himself with everything that happens on the island, at the cost of a real relationship with his son.
Hiccup,
Dad, I have to talk to you, Dad.
I need to speak with you too, son. I think it's
Decided I
time you
don't
learn
want
to fight dragons. What? You go first.
No, you go first.
All right. You get your wish. Dragon training. You start in the morning.
Oh, man, I should have gone first. 'Cause I was thinking, you know, we have a surplus of dragon-fighting Vikings, but do we have enough bread-making Vikings or small home repair Vikings?
need this.
I don't want to fight dragons.
Come on, yes you do.
Rephrased, Dad, I can't kill dragons.
But you will kill dragons.
No, I'm really very extra sure that I won't.
It's time, Hiccup.
Can you not hear me?
This is serious, son. When you carry this axe, you carry all of us with you. Which means you walk like us, you talk like us, you think like us. No more of this.
You just gestured to all of me.
Deal?
This conversation is feeling very one-sided.
Deal?
Deal.
You walk like us, you talk like us, you think like us. There's no individuality in Burke. I want to point out one more scene for Stoic, and it's tragic.
Dad, you're back. Gobber's not here, so...
I know. I came looking for you.
You did?
You've been keeping secrets.
I have?
Just how long did you think you could hide it from me?
I don't know what you were...
Nothing happens on this island without me hearing about it.
Oh?
So, let's talk about that dragon.
Oh, God. Dad, I'm so sorry. I was going to tell you. I just didn't know how to, You're not upset?
What? I was hoping for this.
You were?
What a feeling! You really had me going there, son. All those years of the worst Viking Burke has ever seen. Odin, it was rough. I almost gave up on you. And all the while, you were holding out on me. Oh, Thor Almighty! Ah, with you doing so well in the ring, we finally have something to talk about.
I almost gave up on you. As his father, Stoic is supposed to be the one person who believes in Hiccup, and that single conversation shatters any real connection, leaving Hiccup constantly needing to prove himself.
Oh, what am I going to do with him, Gobber?
Put him in training with the others.
No, I'm serious.
So am I.
He'd be killed before you let the first dragon out of its cage.
Oh, you don't know that.
I do know that,
No, you
actually.
don't.
No, actually, I do.
No, you don't.
Listen, you know what he's like.
Gobber is definitely one of the most underappreciated characters. Sure, he's a total comic relief, but these goofy moments are always interlocked with profound advice to whoever he's speaking to.
That's for kidnapping me. That's for everything else.
Astrid represents several different tropes throughout the story. She's a cynical antagonist trying to expose Hiccup at the beginning, and then slowly morphs into an inspiration for Hiccup, pushing him to be a more confident version of himself. ending the film as a solid person in Hiccup's life that he can always depend on.
That's for scaring me.
Was it always gonna be this way? Because I could get used to it.
These three characters help mold Hiccup through responsibility, guidance, and inspiration throughout the film. They show acceptance, longing, and love through the same social expectations that was set up to be despised. Visually, this film is stunning. Directed by Chris Sanders and Dean DeBlow, every shot feels intentional and impactful. The camera floats through the clouds, letting us to fly alongside Hiccup and Toothless. Also, Roger Deakins, one of the best cinematographers of our time, was brought on to help the animators with lighting. All sunsets, candlelight, and cloud cover are intentional and handcrafted. It's so abundantly clear how much love was put into every aspect of this film. When making a fantasy world, it's super important to set up rules so that the world feels believable and lived in. It's done flawlessly. As an audience, we are brought along to dragon training, where we learn everything about these mythical beasts. Dragons have a certain amount of shots in them, and they're not fireproof on the inside. Both are carefully loaded into Chekhov's gun and fired perfectly during the climax of the film. In my opinion, where the film really shines is in those small details you pick up on while rewatching scenes over and over again for a YouTube video. There are several parallels throughout the film that just significantly add to the overall depth. At the beginning of the third act, Hiccup watches as Stoic takes Toothless away. Feeling defeated, Hiccup tells Astrid that he should have just killed the dragon in the woods. He would have never gotten attached, and he wouldn't have made such a mess.
It's a mess. You must feel horrible. You've lost everything. Your father, your tribe, your best friend.
Thank you for summing that up. Why couldn't I have killed that dragon when I found him in the woods? Would have been better for everyone.
Yep, the rest of us would have done it. So why didn't you? Why didn't you?
I don't know. I couldn't.
That's not an answer.
Why is this so important to you all of a sudden?
Because I want to remember what you say right now.
Oh, for the love of it, I was a coward. I was weak. I wouldn't kill a dragon.
You said wouldn't that time.
Okay, whatever. I wouldn't. 300 years, and I'm the first Viking who wouldn't kill a dragon.
First to ride one, though.
I wouldn't kill him because he looked as frightened as I was. I looked at him, and I saw myself.
This directly parallels the start of the second act when Hiccup asks the same question to Toothless.
Remember, a dragon will always go for the kill.
So why didn't you?
Another parallel is the "I did this" moment. Hiccup feels regret for hurting Toothless.
I did this.
Paralleling at the end when Stoic says it when it seems that Hiccup had died saving Burke.
Hiccup! Hiccup! Son! Hiccup. Oh, son. I did this.
The fun thing I noticed recently is when Hiccup refuses to kill a dragon in front of his whole tribe, claiming they aren't actually monsters. Moments before, the monstrous nightmare proves Hiccup correct. It doesn't immediately attack. He only resorts to violence once seeing that he's trapped and there's nowhere to escape. I love seeing how dragons, especially one named the Monstrous Nightmare, is really anything but. It just defends itself.
It's all so messed up.
So everything in the ring, a trick? A lie?
I screwed up. I should have told you before now. You take this out on me. Be mad at me, but please, just don't hurt Toothless.
The dragon? That's what you're worried about? Not the people you almost killed?
He was just protecting me. He's not dangerous.
They've killed hundreds of us!
And we've killed thousands of them. They defend themselves, that's all. They raid us because they have to.
The story is told through facial expressions. Toothless doesn't say a single word, but still manages to convey complex thoughts and emotions. This is true for every character. You see the panic in Hiccup's eyes while listening to his classmates at the fire. This is the moment he decides he needs to make Toothless a prosthetic tail. It's not safe for him to be stuck in Berk when this is how dragons are treated. When Stoic yells at Hiccup, claiming he's no longer his son, we see his hesitation and regret in his eyes. It's his pride that keeps him moving forward. Hiccup is a goofy, overlooked son of the chief on the small island of Berk. He shoots down a Night Fury, but refuses to kill it after seeing himself in his eyes. Hiccup crosses over and learns a lot about these misunderstood animals. Unfortunately, Hiccup gets enrolled in training so that he can kill any dragon he sees. He finds that a girl named Astrid also sees the beauty in dragons. They find themselves in the nest of the dragons. Back at Berk, Hiccup refuses to kill a dragon in front of his tribe, leading to Stoic taking Toothless to find the nest. Stoic makes up with Hiccup, finally telling him that he's proud to have him as a son. Hiccup and Toothless go off and defeat the Red Death. Waking up, Hiccup is back in Berk to find that the dragons and his tribe are living together harmoniously, leaving Hiccup the master of two worlds.